You and Joel, it's your first Game 7 win.
We had a talk after Game 5 and just said, hey, man, we can't let the same stuff happen over and over and over and over again. At some point, we got to put a stop to it.
Sometimes, when your speed is way too much to handle, you can blow past defenders like this and let everyone hear it.
Maxey switches back and has a free poster for himself.
Yeah, the Boston Celtics couldn't do much to stop Tyrese Maxey from getting inside, and even if they managed to take away the rim by committing 2, well, here's where the setup still defeats you.
Embiid bounce it, play behind the defense.
In 7 games versus the Celtics, Tyrese Maxey put up 27 points and 6 assists while shooting 46% from the field and 41% from deep as well. When you watch these games, they were full of action, and when Tyrese would get into his flow, things got quite scary. Such as when he gets out on the fast break, this is the easiest way to get the gears rolling, and once he has his mind set, you're not really gonna stop him. I know he may not be known to be some bruiser type of player or anything like that, but with his much improved build and strength overall, he can now just move Peyton Pritchard off of him while now only having to focus on Brown, and boy oh boy was this a close one that ends up converting. This open floor not only allows Maxey to attack the basket, as he can now use it to stop and pull up before any defender can get in front of him, and now since the defense is worried about everything he can do on the open floor, you'll have Derek White pick him up higher so he can now be ready for the 3 ball, and Vooch is right behind him to be ready for that drive. Well, in theory, this will work against most players and they would pass the ball. But hey, we're talking about Tyrese Maxey, and you're not doing that to someone with his speed. Now that things have shifted to the half court, it doesn't mean he's less dangerous, as if anything, it's much harder to contain him now as bigs have less of a grace period to recover when he's exploding to the rim, and on this specific action, Maxey decides to go up on this right side to avoid any block from Kata. This pressure that he constantly puts on the defense can lead to them fouling him once he gets inside, and the reason being is because if you watch Maxey closely, you'll notice that he uses his smaller 6'2" height to his advantage by first angling his drive into Kata's pursuit angle, and then when taking off, he puts his body right into Kata so he can't really contest how he would want to, which results in a solid finish. These pick and rolls all series were a problem for the Celtics, as if they went into drop coverage, he would just come right off the screen and let it fly. And if we switch things up, for the times the defense tries to step up higher on the screen to limit Maxey from being able to pull up, well great, you did take away 3 points, which is always a good thing to do. But now you're allowing this whole entire right side to be attacked, and you have to remember, this is a major mismatch right here with a guard and big. So as we roll the clip, you're going to see Maxey attack right past Vooch, and like the play I just highlighted, Maxey angles his body into Vooch to ensure he can't get a great contest while he kisses this off the glass. Having a player who can score from anywhere in multiple different ways is what takes these 2-man actions up another level, and while Maxey's speed and driving threat will make the defense collapse into quickness, he can now either send it out to this left side, or he can send it over to Embiid who hits the tray ball. When defenses do start shifting like that, you unlock different reads. Such as if Tyrese would have took one more dribble, this would have pulled Derek White towards him even more, which then opens up Kelly Oubre perfectly on this backdoor cut to finish. But even with that not happening, the play isn't over. You can see how Maxey's initial attack was enough to make the defense shift to contain him, in turn getting Embiid a wide open mid-range jumper. Now all of that shows you how he can be effective both ways by highlighting the passing, but let's go deeper into his scoring. As me and you both know, Maxey is one of the fastest guys in the league, and in the playoffs, defenses scheme heavily against star players, so this is usually one of the main reasons why upcoming stars will struggle as they're not used to schemes being so tight. But with Maxey, you can't really scheme for this type of speed and counters. Like sure, you could maybe double him more to turn him into a passer, but obviously that wasn't the Celtics game plan. With Boston playing him one-on-one most of the time, it didn't really end up pretty.
Oh my goodness. No way. Hello. Oh man, just grotesque.
That handle and control of Tyrese is amongst the top of the guards in the NBA. And for the times where it got a little sticky when attacking, Maxey will use that footwork and physicality to find his footing around Tatum, and then extend out far to outbeat both defenders down low for the bucket.
Puzzling inside, somehow scooped it in.
Plays like that can be slow and simple, but the details within it is what makes it so hard. Like when most guys come off screens with 2 guys draped over them like this, we already know where the ball is going. And if you immediately said or looked at Joel Embiid, you would be correct in that assumption. And this here really isn't even a bad read. But when you have a player who can not only make correct reads like that, but they can also manage to create for themselves in situations that don't seem ideal, this is when you know you're dealing with someone special. Yeah, the postseason is all about outsmarting the defense when they think they know everything, but whether it's the mid-range, inside, or 3-pointer, Maxey can make you have to think about a lot of things. Like watch this, when coming off this screen, D White is still pretty close recovering, and Garza is in a good spot right in front. So what does Maxey do? Well, he sidesteps more towards that corner angle and knocks this down for straight cash. Now look, last time when he attacked, he had some space away from D White, but when watching this possession, you can see that White is all over Maxey when he's driving. So the counter this time is still sidestepping, but you have to add more to it to ensure you get that space. So this here leads to Maxey ever so slightly bumping White to get that tad bit amount of more space to rise up and bury it home. Some of you are probably like, okay, he did his sidestep one time and then he added in a bump to it. What makes this so special? Well, hold on one second. For those times where he doesn't have the space he wants for the mid-range shot, due to the defense playing the pick and roll well, Tyrese isn't just shut down and the play has to reset and everything like that. He now just uses his pace and angle recognition to snake into his defender before getting to that sweet spot for the floater. Do you kinda see what I'm showing you now? I first showcased how his speed doesn't allow the defense to scheme that great for him, and that even when they do, he has a counter for whatever they may send at him. Basically, it's like the speed is the foundation to his game, but when you start to add in all these other skill sets, it just takes things up another level. On one hand, you can't stop him from getting downhill whenever he sets his mind to go attack. Then on the other, you want to make it hard for him to score, but with his handle and creativeness, he always finds a way to get to where he wants to make you pay. The best way to play Maxey, like I talked about earlier, is to play him straight up while forcing him into be a passer most of the game. But hey, that's easier said than done, because gaps that you think are cut off turn into a challenge for him to break past, and when you have two defenders ready for his drive, he shows you that you can't play your cards too soon, or else you'll be left watching the ball fall through the basket. Tyrese Maxey and the 76ers just sent Boston home in 7 games, and it wasn't just Tyrese alone. As they advance to this next round, I want you all to comment who came up big for them in this series and who needs to step up big in the next playoff series.